Thank you so much for joining us on our very first episode of Footpod. Naam pe zyada dhyan mat dijiye. Is the first thing that came to my mind. But more importantly, I've been trying to make this happen for a long time now. And the reason I've been trying to make this happen for a long time is courtesy the two gents on my left. To my immediate left is Mr. Hood, who, of course, anyone who knows anything about Indian football knows all two things. Whatever Richard Hood has done as far as Indian football. And to Richard's left is Floyd Pinto. Again, the same introduction for someone who's been around Indian football. He's given so much to Indian football. And two of the finest minds as far as Indian football is concerned. Floyd Pinto, Richard Hood. My name is Arjun Pandit. And you're watching Footpod, the very first episode of Footpod, where we will talk about not Indian football. उसके लिए अलग माध्यम है, उसके लिए अलग shows हैं. But we're going to talk about all that's happening in world football, European football, South American football, whatever it may be, the big news, the big transfers. But more importantly, we're going to go deeper into it, because when you have people like Richard and Floyd on your show, you don't just graze the headlines. You go deep into those subjects because you've got two such minds who've given so much to the game. Richard, Floyd, thanks for joining us, guys. Good to see you as always. Lovely to see you guys. Now, the big chat is this one. How will Liverpool line up with Isak? I think the amount was 130 million. चलो पैसा छोड़ दो. मैं कह रहा हूँ सर उस 11 में जहाँ पे Ekitike suddenly turned out to be that Thrup का इक्का. At least in those first two games, he's come in, and I've rarely seen it from a striker's perspective. You've come in and you've set up in a way where you don't look out of place at all. And you've come in and you've added to that team. तो आप क्या करोगे? आप बिना Ekitike के अब 11 खिलाओगे क्या? How is that possible? And how do you explain that to that player?
That's why Slot's in charge. And going by what he did last season, he's a very astute manager, a very good manager. And he doesn't fool around too much with the lineups. Once the lineup is set, once the lineup gets going, it takes a lot for him to, make drastic changes to that lineup. And the one thing that he's focused on, or the club has been focused on with his inputs, is having players in the attacking position that can play in different positions, the versatility of our attackers. If you look at Isak, probably he's the only player who would say he's a proper number 9. You say Gakpo can play number 9, he can play on the left, he can play right, he can play as a number 10. See, Florian Wirtz can play off the wing, he can play as a number 10 or a false 9. So Ekitike is one of those players. Ekitike, if you see his performances with Frankfurt, when Omar Mamouche was setting Bundesliga alight, he was playing second fiddle to him and more off the wing rather than the central positions. And as soon as Omar Mamouche left for City, Ekitike went up a notch, playing down the central channel and carrying Frankfurt through and helping them qualify for the Champions League. So if you ask me, and Liverpool always had the plan to sign both of them. It wasn't either Ekitike or Isak. It was Ekitike and Isak for sure. Because that's the direction we are going in. The plan is to have players, to have a good squad, to have a good bench, to be able to compete in more than one competition, which is not just the Premier League, but the Champions League and the Cups as well. So that's how I see the team going forward. So, yeah.
Richard, is this where modern day football is, Richard? कि मतलब जी जब पैसा आए तो ऐसे पंडाल खोल के वहां पे शादी कराओ कि आसपास कोई दूल्हा ना मिले, सबको ले लो, because it's been that kind of a transfer window, bhai. Look at the amount of money they've spent on buying the players.
A lot of reliability as well. It's not like Slot's coming over there and being careless with his first season. I think if you look at the dealings they had when he first walked in, inheriting the team from Klopp, and what he did with that squad was incredible. And abhi usne convey kiya that we need players in XYZ position to strengthen the squad, especially proving Floyd's points about having versatility, players who can play across the pitch in multiple positions, interchangeable positions. And he's brought in players exactly for that. If you look at Isak bhi jo karta tha Newcastle ke liye, fact that he could play across the front line, bringing attention towards him, dropping down, turning around and then becoming some sort of a playmaker. The amount of defensive attention he will attract and the sort of players that Slot will look to bring into the final third, it's going to be a far more refined system unfolding compared to what it was earlier. Earlier, all these interchanges, ye sab theek-thaak tha. But with Isak coming with his pace, ability to take on players, finishing ability, it's just going to go up a few notches. And ऐसी बात नहीं कि पैसा उड़ाया है भाई, मतलब जिम्मेदारी से किया है. I mean, there's a very clear plan with this manager knowing what exactly he's doing, and we've seen that over the last one season. And this year, 2 goal खाने के बाद जीत रहे हैं, 2 goal खाने के बाद. I mean, it's a team that doesn't know how to lose. So it's been a big.
But, you know,
Just the fact that with Slot coming in, Liverpool has got a lot more control with the ball. These sort of threats that come up, them being vulnerable to counter-attacks, them being vulnerable to, let's say, a quick break, really won't come in that much because they end up keeping the ball a lot more, despite the fact that they commit a lot of players up front. This really isn't a threat per se. So whether McAllister is there, I mean, that definitely gives you a lot of stability defensively in front of the back two in case both the fullbacks go up and commit. But Szoboszlai as well, I mean, just from what Floyd has described, he has been a change maker over the last 2 games with that free kick and the assists and ability to see things that most others don't see. But how often is that going to come handy over a 45-game season? There's also a big point that Liverpool are conceding goals. Are they going to outscore everybody throughout the season? What's going to be the solution there? But they are winning.
How's that possible in a season to have your motto saying we'll outscore you?
तो अभी it's still early days है, मतलब अभी बोलना कि ये correct. I mean, it's all quality players over there, and maybe these midfield players who occupy the midfield will be dictated by the sort of opposition that they play. Tiny tweaks, and that's what Slot has been all about. I mean, since the time he's come in, it's always been about adjustments and tweaks at halftime. I mean, he's someone who can change the game around at halftime with crucial substitutions. So you have a manager who has a proven track record in doing just this. So whether it is a more attacking-minded midfielder or someone as defensive as McAllister, I'm sure all resources will be used to optimize fighting for 4 trophies that Floyd had mentioned, not just the one Premier League.
But you think Isak and Ekitike will ever start together? And if you do start together, is that too much of a luxury from an attacking point of view, which thereby then exposes you from a defensive point of view with Liverpool?
Yes, it does. One of the reasons why I don't see this particular lineup happening is because of Cody Gakpo as well. So he's another player who's just signed a new contract. He's banging in goals for fun. His goal involvements are getting higher and higher with every season. Consistently, he works hard for the team. So he's taken that position on the left if Salah has taken the position on the right. And there could be a tactical tweak in such a way. Salah is going to be off for the AFCONs mid-season. So he's going to miss a few games. I see Ekitike playing more in the number 10 with Florian Wirtz shifting to one of the wings. Either way. Because that would be more logical because Ekitike playing down the wing doesn't seem to be, with the demands that we have in the game, in Premier League, doesn't seem to be the right fit. And like I said, Szoboszlai again, if Salah goes, there could be a possibility that Szoboszlai starts on the right. So there are so many possibilities, but I rarely see Isak and Ekitike starting together unless, for example, it's maybe the 60th minute and we need a goal, we want to go to win a game of football, or that's the only time we see Ekitike coming in place of Isak, and vice versa. Because I think come Burnley, the next game, I don't think Isak will start. It's going to be Ekitike starting up front. So maybe Isak comes in for the last 25-30 minutes just to get him involved in the game as he builds up the minutes in his legs before he can start 90 minutes for us this season. So it's going to be either off because Salah is a given, Gakpo is a given, Florian Wirtz is not going to be dropped.
Like a short in that 11 for you.
Knowing Liverpool FC and knowing Arne Slot and knowing Liverpool the way we've played, Gakpo is a sure shot. Szoboszlai is a sure shot. So for me, what's to be seen is, will Conor Bradley play at right back? Does Arne Slot feel that he's recovered enough to play at right back? If he plays at right back, then Szoboszlai plays in place of McAllister. That's where I see Szoboszlai playing. Because if you look, the one tactical change that Arne Slot made in the second half, which helped us break the Arsenal press, was Szoboszlai helping in the build-up.
Yes.
Along with Gravenberch. While in the first half, Szoboszlai was more on the wing, more away on the wing, on the outside, playing as a conventional right back. So he has the confidence of Konate, or Van Dijk, and an Alisson. Even under pressure, they'll play the ball onto him for a bounce pass, which then breaks the line of the first press of any other team that we are playing against. So for me, if the lineup that's put up here, if Conor Bradley is fit, he starts at right back, considering it's Burnley. But then if you see the tactical approach to Burnley would be that we are going to have more possession, and in that possession, Szoboszlai can drift in from the right back into the midfield, which would then release maybe a McAllister or a Gravenberch, so that he could start at right back and then drift into midfield. So that is the two possibilities there. And if Bradley starts at right back, then I see Szoboszlai starting in place of McAllister in the center and Gakpo on the left. Florian Wirtz won't change.
So, the best in these individuals. And season लंबा है भाई, मतलब यहाँ पे 50 games का season है, 50 games तक जाता है. I think 4-5 of these players won't be present during the AFCON. A lot of these players will get injured. A lot of these players will have a slump during the season, might have to bounce back. तो अगर पूरे 8-10 महीने संभालने आपको, you will also depend on players not really showing up, and you can't have those weak spots कि bench पे कोई है ही नहीं और जो खेल नहीं पा रहा है, one who's not responding to the demands, one who's not really fitting into the team, you're forced to play him क्योंकि और कोई है नहीं. So I think it's far more a positive problem to have, where you have these players, number one, who are versatile in a very mobile and high energy system, and second thing is it's a top notch team भाई, मतलब वहाँ पे at least 7-8 national team captains हैं. So there's no shortage of people who are inspired and who want to compete. So I don't think it's a problem with कैसे खुश रखोगे.
This is where recruitment comes in as well, and where you look at the character of the player that you're bringing in. And that's where you bring in players like Szoboszlai, someone who's, for me, he has shades of Gerrard in him, captain of the country, ready to play for the team in any position, the quality that he possesses. Gakpo, another one who's been performing for the country, mature in the way he thinks, a stable player who knows. I think he had an offer from Bayern in the transfer window, but immediately rejected it and signed a new contract. So Ekitike as well is in that bracket, where he knows he's not the finished article at the moment, and he's ready to come in and help the team to achieve their goals through the entire season. And I'm sure with the number of games that we play, he's going to get enough game time. And the other thing with Slot, he's so tactically flexible. You never know what he's going to do in every game. The way he builds up changes. There was an interview with Van Dijk in one of the post-game matches. He changes at halftime the way you build up. He changes at halftime the way you press. So there's a different role. So even if Ekitike maybe starts out wide, there could be a possibility that when we have possession, he plays alongside Alexander Isak, which gives the option for Kirkes to go up and down, which is his strong point as well. So there's a lot of tactical, flexibility that the team has, and I think Slot would be now, barring that we didn't get Mark Gehi in the transfer window, barring that. If we have everyone fit, I think it's going to be a very, very competitive squad in all competitions for sure. Yeah.
But one thing, Floyd, for all the love that you have for Liverpool, Frimpong on the right and Kirkes on the left, and we saw Kirkes in that game versus Arsenal. A lot of people were saying a good game. He didn't look comfortable for large parts of that game, I thought, at least. And Frimpong has been known more for his offensive capabilities as opposed to defending. आप गोल बचा रहे हो, तो सर आप डिफेंसिवली आपको डर नहीं लग रहा कि पीछे पूरा खुला हुआ है? आप छोड़ दो वो बोर्नमouth वाली टीम, आप छोड़ दो ब्राइटन वाली टीम. मैं कह रहा हूँ जब आप रियल मैड्रिड खेल रहे हो, जब आप आगे जाके इंटर मिलान को खेलोगे या नापोली को खेलोगे या बायर्न म्यूनिख को खेलोगे, फिर पकड़ेंगे नहीं लोग इनको आराम से फिर?
Yeah, that's where Conor Bradley comes in, because I think he gives that balance at the right, because I think he would have started if he was fit over Frimpong. And I think Frimpong has also been bought in case, there's an option, say Salah goes to the AFCONs, he is an option to play on the right wing as well.
Yes.
So that's there. But I think, at this point of time, Liverpool is just trying to find a way of balance of how to play with everybody in this squad. And I think given a few games, that balance will be there. Okay, at this point of time I cannot go up. I need to be back. At this point of time, okay, we need to move the ball more, and especially with Soboslai and Gravenberch, or Soboslai and McAllister. There are games where McAllister still plays like he's playing in last year's team. 10 yards away from Gravenberch, where we conceded those counter-attack goals. So the best part is we are winning. We won 3 matches.
Yes.
But the last game against Arsenal gave me the biggest indication that, okay, come a big game, this was the first time that we said, okay, we won't concede that goal. We're going to be a little bit more pragmatic in the way we build up, albeit with Szoboszlai at right back. And then we also have the ability to switch gears in the second half based on how the opposition is pressing and how the opposition is playing. And it could have gone either way, but we got the goal through Szoboszlai's free kick. So anything would happen. From last season, when I saw Slot playing, I was like, oh my God, we've lost all the heavy metal football and all the up and down excitement of Klopp. But we kept winning. We found a way to win 1-0, 2-0. We weren't even conceding goals. Up and until the game against PSG, where we lost on penalties. The season was pretty flowing. At that point, you realized, okay, this is now going to be a shift. This is how we are going to play come under Arne Slot. It's not going to be counter-attack versus counter-attack. It's not going to be, I'm going to score more goals than you. It's going to be, very dicey. It's going to be a lot of changes mid-game, personnel-wise, shape-wise, tactical-wise, even set pieces. Everything was made of, Arsenal is going to score on a set piece. But we're extra cautious because all the goals that we've conceded in pre-season and the first 2 games were through set pieces.
True.
So this was one game where we kind of shut that out as well. So it's kind of a developing team. I would say at this point of time, we are around 40 to 50% of what we could be. Considering the new players that have come in, considering the players that are yet to come in. And I think we are yet to hit the heights of, what this team is actually capable of.
Yeah.
They have a recruitment department that is second to none right now. You read these books and podcasts about the sort of homework that goes into it. And it isn't like a, let's say, indulgence here.
It isn't a Chelsea. It isn't a Chelsea.
वो भी नहीं बोल सकते हैं. Chelsea is also selling, they're breaking even. मतलब the business side of things, it's beyond us. But जो भी चल रहा है, but these guys haven't been careless. I mean, that's one big point, that it isn't careless spending in the window by any means with Liverpool.